Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Afif Jazimin bin Abdullah, and today our group will be presenting on struggles, identity and hope in Indonesian literature. To begin with, literature plays an important role in reflecting the realities of society. In Indonesia, literary works are not just for entertainment, but they also function as a medium to express social issues, cultural values, and human experiences. Due to Indonesia's complex history, including colonialism and the struggle for independence, many writers use literature to explore themes such as identity, inequality, and resilience. From a post-colonial perspective, Indonesian literature can be seen as a response to past oppression, where writers attempt to reclaim cultural identity and voice. At the same time, many works also reflect elements of realism as they portray the everyday struggles of ordinary people, especially those facing poverty, limited access to education, and social injustice. In addition, Indonesian literature often highlights the tension between tradition and modernity. Writers combine cultural values, religion, and daily life experiences to create meaningful and relatable works. This makes Indonesian literature not only relevant locally but also significant in global context. Based on this, our anthology focuses on how literature reflects both personal and societal struggles, while also showing hope and perseverance. This anthology, titled Struggles, Identity and Hope in Indonesian Literature, examines how selected poems, short stories, and a film collectively portray the challenges of life, the search of identity, and the enduring sense of hope within Indonesian society. Moving on to the literary background, Indonesian literature has been strongly influenced by historical and social developments. During the colonial period, literature became a tool for resistance and for expressing national consciousness. After independence in 1945, writers began to focus more on individuality and freedom of expression. This can be seen in the emergence of the 1945 generation, where authors introduced more personal and emotionally intense writing styles. In terms of characteristics, Indonesian literature is known for its simple yet meaningful language, as well as its use of symbolism and imagery. Writers often draw inspiration from nature, religion, and everyday life to express deeper meanings. Furthermore, many literary works focus on societal issues such as poverty, education, and inequality, often portraying the struggles of the marginalized communities. At the same time, these works also highlight resilience and hope, which are central themes in Indonesian literature. In modern times, Indonesian literature continues to evolve by addressing global issues such as human rights and cultural identity, while still maintaining strong connections to its traditions. With this background in mind, we can better understand the works of key Indonesian authors whose writings reflect this theme in different ways. That's all for me, thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
This poem, Aku by Chairil Anwar, written in 1943, reflects the themes of struggles, identity, and hope through strong individualism and resistance. The poem also focuses on individualism and freedom, where the speaker refused to follow societal expectation and chose to define his own identity. This is clearly shown in the line Aku ini binatang jalang. This line shows that the speaker sees himself as free and uncontrollable. The first binatang jalang symbolizes rebellion and independence, proving that identity is shared through a self-expression rather than social rules. The poem also presents struggle through resistance, as is shown in the line Biar peluru menembus kulitku, where the speaker expresses courage and refuse to give up even when facing pain and hardship. This shows that struggle is not about weakness, but about strength and determination. And at the same time, the poem conveys hope, and this can be seen in the line Aku mahu hidup 1000 tahun lagi, which reflects the speaker's strong desire to continue living despite challenges. So overall, the poem shows that identity is shaped through individual freedom, struggle is faced with courage, and hope exists through perseverance.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Lini Madia binti Azli. So in this video, I will be presenting my analysis of two Indonesian poems, which is Hujan Bulan Juni by Sapardi Djoko Damono and Doa by Chairil Anwar. So based on our title, the themes include struggles, identity and hope in Indonesian literature. However, instead of showing these themes through dramatic events, the poems present them in subtle and meaningful ways through emotional and spiritual experiences. So first, I will discuss about the poem titled Hujan Bulan Juni. So this poem reflects the theme of struggle, but in a very quiet way and internal way. Instead of showing conflict openly, the poem focuses on emotions that are hidden and controlled. For example, in the line, tak ada yang lebih tabah dari hujan bulan Juni. So the word tabah, which means patient, show how the rain continues to fall quietly without demanding any attention. So this symbolizes a person who is experiencing emotional struggle but chooses to endure it silently. Next, the poem also explores identity through emotional restraint, which in the lines, dirahsiakannya rintik nindunya kepada pohon berbunga itu, so the rain hides its longings, which symbolize how individuals control and manage their emotions. Which in many cultures, including Indonesian society, people are often encouraged to remain calm and composed. Because of this, emotional restraint becomes part of a person's identity. And finally, the poem also presents hope through quiet persistence. Even though the rain falls in an unusual season, it continues to exist. So this suggests that emotions still have meaning even when they are not expressed. Which in real life, hope is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it exists in a small and quiet ways, such as holding on to feelings or continuing to believe something despite challenges. So now moving on to our second poem, which is Doa by Chairil Anwar. So the poem Doa reflects the theme of struggle, but this time through a spiritual and emotional perspective. The speaker expressed feelings of being lost and broken, as shown in the line, Aku hilang bentuk remuk. This word suggests that the speaker feels overwhelmed, confused and vulnerable, and this represents a deep internal struggle that many individuals experience, especially during difficult or uncertain times. Unlike physical struggle, this is an emotional and spiritual struggle that happens within the individual. Next, the poem also explores identity through faith and self-reflections, which show in the line, Tuhanku dalam termanggu. The speaker directly addressed to God, showing a personal and intimate relationship. So the word termanggu suggests that deep thinking and reflection. So in this indicates that the speaker is trying to understand themselves and their situation through faith, which in many societies, including Indonesia, religions plays an important role in shaping a person's identity. Lastly, the poem presents hope through prayer and belief. Even though the speaker feels lost, they still turn to God for guidance. So this shows that hope exists even in a moments of struggles. So hope in this poem is not shown as an immediate solution, but as a belief that things can improve. So in conclusion, both Hujan Bulan Juni and Doa reflect the theme of struggle, identity and hope, but in a different ways. Hujan Bulan Juni focuses on emotional restraint and quiet endurance, while Doa explores spiritual struggle and faith. So together, these two poems shows that Indonesian literature often represents deep human experiences in subtle and meaningful ways, where struggle is internal, identity is shaped through reflection, and hope exists quietly within individuals. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum for everyone. Today I will present the analysis of the poem Aku Ingin by Sapardi Djoko Damono that focusing on themes of struggle, identity and hope in Indonesian literature. Firstly, the poem presents identity and through simplicity and sincerity. The persona express love in a humble and genuine way, as seen in the line, Aku ingin mencintaimu dengan sederhana. This shows that identity is not shaped by grand gesture, but by true and honest feeling. The use of simple language reflects a deeper emotional meaning. It highlights that identity in Indonesian literature is often quiet and personal. Secondly, the poem portrays struggle as an internal emotional conflict. The persona feel love deeply but choose not to express it fully. This can be seen in the line dengan kata yang tak sempat diucapkan, which suggests that some emotions remain unspoken. This shows that struggle is not always visible, but can exist within silence and self-control. It reflects how Indonesian literature often presents struggle in subtle and reflective way. In addition, the poem always shows sacrifice as part of emotional struggle. Through the metaphor, kayu kepada api yang menjadikannya abu, the persona illustrate how love involves giving without expecting anything in turn. This transformation into abu symbolizes silent sacrifice, which strengthens that idea struggle can be internal and meaningful. Finally, the poem conveys hope through acceptance. The calm and gentle tone of the poem shows that simple love is enough even without recognition. The persona accepts love in this simplest form, which reflects emotional maturity and sincerity. This shows that hope in Indonesian literature is often quiet and personal rather than dramatic. In conclusion, aku ingin successfully present struggle, identity and hope. Through its simple yet deep expression, the poem highlights internal struggle, sincerity, identity, and hopefully acceptance, showing the beauty of quiet emotional in Indonesian literature. That's all for me. Thank you. Hello and Assalamualaikum. Today I will present the analysis of the short story Robohnya Surau Kami by A.A. Navis, focusing on the theme of struggle, identity, and hope in Indonesian literature. Firstly, the story explores identity through religious belief. The main character defined himself as a devout man who spent his life praying in surau. This shows that he believes his identity is based on worship alone. However, this idea is later challenged, showing that identity must include both belief and action. Secondly, the story highlights struggle as an moral conflict between faith and social responsibility. Through the story, the character focuses only on his prayer while ignoring the needs of others. This creates a tension between what he believes and what he should do. This struggle reflects ethical issues in society, which are commonly explored in Indonesian literature. The turning point of the story happened in the afterlife judgment scene. During movement, the character is questioned about his actions and realizes that his devotion alone was not enough. This dialogue serves as strong proof that realization is important in shaping true identity. It shows that understanding often comes through reflection and struggle. Finally, the story presents hope through its moral lesson. Even though the character fails, the message encourages readers to reflect on their own action and responsibility. This shows that hope exists through awareness and change rather than a perfect outcome. In conclusion, Robohnya Surau Kami effectively presents struggle, identity, and hope. Through its moral message and narrative structure, the story teaches that true identity requires balance and hope can be found through reflection and improvement. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nik Arifah Masara Bentini Hussein. So, I will talk about the short story Saksi Mata by Seno Gumira Ajidarma. The story focuses on political violence and injustice, especially experiences that are often silenced in the society. It is written using fragmented testimonies, which means the story is told through different voices. The main themes highlighted in this story are the struggles, identity, and hope. So, Saksi Mata tells the story of eyewitnesses who have seen acts of violence. The story does not follow a clear or linear plot, but instead uses multiple voices and perspectives. Many of the statements are incomplete, which reflects fear, censorship, and control. This structure shows how difficult it is for people to express the truth. The theme of struggles is clearly shown through the witnesses' fear of speaking. For example, the phrase "saya melihat" is left incomplete, showing that the speaker is being silenced. Another line, "kami tidak berani mengatakan semuanya," shows that they are afraid to reveal the full truth. This reflects the dangers of speaking in a controlled or overpressive society. Next is the theme of identity. The characters in the story are not given names and are only described as saksi mata. The phrase "kami hanya saksi mata" shows that they lost their individuality and are defined only by what they have seen. Their identity becomes unclear and is shaped by trauma and experience. Despite these struggles, the theme of hope is still present. The repetition of "saya melihat" shows that the truth continues to exist even though the statements are incomplete. The act of remembering and storytelling continues. This suggests that memory cannot be erased but becomes a form of resistance. In conclusion, Saksi Mata clearly shows struggles under oppression and the loss of identity and the importance of memory. It also emphasizes that truth continues to exist even when voices are silenced. This reflects the social realities in Indonesian society.
The film Laskar Pelangi, released in 2008 and directed by Riri Riza, portrays the themes of struggle, identity, and hope through education in a poor community in Belitung, Indonesia. So the film shows struggle through poverty and limited access to education. So this is clearly seen when the Muhammadiyah school is almost closed due to a lack of students, showing how difficult it is for children in rural areas to receive proper education. And another example of struggle is shown through Lintang, who cycles long distance every day and faces dangerous conditions just to attend school. This proves that accessing education requires a great effort and determination. The film also presents identity as something shaped through education and perseverance. This is shown in the academic competition scene, where Lintang is able to answer difficult questions and defeat students from a well-equipped school. And this proves that intelligence and success are not determined by wealth, but by effort and knowledge. In addition, the film conveys hope through education. This is seen when the students succeed in the competition, showing that despite their struggles, they are still able to achieve a better future. So overall, the film shows that struggle can be overcome, identity is shaped through effort, and hope exists through determination and belief in education.
So overall, Indonesian literature reflects the themes of struggles, identity, and hope. These themes are influenced by social and historical contexts. Literary works often shows real-life challenges and give voice to those who are unheard. So in conclusion, struggles are shown through expression and hardship. Identity is shaped by experience and environment, and hope is seen through resilience and storytelling. These themes help readers to understand real-life issues and show the strength of human perseverance.